Twitter right now, we got some interesting stuff going on right now in Iceland. And no, Krysivik is not erupting right now. What is going on at the Krysivik volcanic system? Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. Um, where is Twitter? Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. Dun, Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna head back. Come on. So Twitter. Type in Iceland right now and see what's going on there. So basically, the photo I found, the photo that is in the description, is basically a brush fire. It's basically a moss fire. This is what's actually happening. This is not lava. See, this is moss that's burning. But yes, there is very intense harmonic tremors, and there's been some videos supposedly showing lava erupting. But this is what.
In 5 seconds, you can skip this ad, but what you can't skip is climate change. Imagine you can turn.
Yeah, actually.
It says no sign of anything other than a nerve burn. Nerve burn. And this is translated. We came up here between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight, probably. And that's the lights we just saw. These are the guys that are from mbl.is or mbi.is. And they met two rescuers from Krysivik who had just checked it out, the lights we had seen. They told us it was simply a nerve burn. It says NR Igni Richardson, who went up to Fagrados Fall with another man this evening to find out what's going on.
So that's really dry moss burning?
It's a nerve burn. Don't know what that means yet. And so I'm getting a full article here. I'm going to translate this, and we're translating the page. All right. So here we are at the nerve burn. What do we still have up on the live stream? That picture? All right. So this is the nerve burn, and this is what was pictured earlier tonight.
Yeah, so now let's go to Google. Mm. Let's look at this. Yeah, whole country. Oh yeah. Let's. Oh wow. Okay, so basically, let's look at the Ventia. Let's look at this glacier, the Ventia Cold Glacier. Here, this is Barbunga volcano here. It's having some earthquakes. That's the Aska caldera. Okay, so let's look right now. This is the Reckness Peninsula. So let's look. See, the quakes have been reducing. See, reducing and increasing. So right now, the entire Reckness Peninsula has been having a major earthquake. The entire Reckness Peninsula has been having a major earthquake swarm. And a lot of these quakes are very shallow. Yes. What's going on is that the volcano is about to erupt. It's about to. It's getting ready to erupt. Where will it erupt? That remains to be seen. But Geology Hub and some people are thinking it's going to be near the Gelding the Galler event. So right now, let's look at. Sorry, I was just. Okay, so let's look at this now. Let's look at just Icelandic. So just Icelandic is the name of his channel. There will be an eruption, so to me it's pretty obvious. When you're having
Recently, I was hacked by an attacker who took several of my accounts and was even emailing me my own personal information. He was threatening to abuse this information and sell it online. Scary, right? The hacker's goal was actually just to steal my Fortnite cosmetics. Thankfully, he wasn't able to get them. Since then, I've learned how to protect myself online.
Hello and greetings from Iceland. But this will be my last update from home for a while, since I'm going south to the earthquake region tomorrow. But I planned to go there today, Monday, but it's a public holiday, so the traffic is awful. And I had plenty of work to finish up north, since I might stay in Reykjavik and close by for a while. So I used the day to listen to our experts and stories from Grindavík, where the magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck yesterday, and it's not looking good there. Many of the 3,300 residents have their suitcases ready if they have to move out of town quickly in case of an eruption. But what you might not know so far is that yesterday's earthquake triggered another earthquake zone that has been quiet for almost 2 months now. But there is a magma intrusion just around here, north of town. And I have to admit that I really didn't like what the seismometers were detecting last night. The magma around there, just by the Blue Lagoon, has been trying to get through the crust for some time now. And it was very clear that the magnitude 5.5 earthquake was shaking things up and perhaps opening up some channels. And what worries me the most is the fact that even though we have this extensive network of seismometers on the peninsula, it was proved last year that they could handle anything but to detect the eruption the hours before it started. That's when the system failed. Or while the magma was going through what might have been the easy part of the road, up. And the ground everywhere around here is very ruptured or marked by other formations, like the huge row of craters on either side of the town. So the magma intrusion 2 months ago was by far the worst threat that we have faced so far, or since all this started. So I did make many videos while the last episode was going on, or when the town was being prepared for evacuation for the second time 2 months ago. And I did also make a video about the barriers that they have been planning to construct around the town. So this is good information for new viewers, as I'm welcoming you. And I did make a long documentary style video that covered this in details, and I highly recommend that you check it out, since it is a part of the story that's unfolding nearby, or the magma dike that seems to be in the forming. And the complete story is that there are 6 separate volcanic systems on the peninsula, and in some way all connected. But I was glad to see that the unrest by the town faded out today, so let's hope that it stays like that. But it could also mean that there is less obstacle for the magma, so it is too early to celebrate. But let's move to the hottest spot of them all now, or the dike that seems to be crawling up through the crust, causing all those earthquakes around due to changes in tension in the region. And last night, after a big one, we got around 5 earthquakes around magnitude 4. And it wasn't until this afternoon when the seismic unrest dropped a bit. But then we got another magnitude 4 earthquake shortly before dinner. And earthquakes of such magnitude can be felt very well in the city. So this is affecting most Icelanders. So this is what is happening exactly now, Monday evening, 10 o'clock. And it will take me maybe 3 hours to edit the video. And as usual, things might have changed in the meantime. And if so, I will make a note of it in the description box. And I was listening to our experts today, and I was quite pleased with them this time, because they tend to act like this when it comes to disaster news.
Nothing to see here, please.
But I don't have to read to disaster news.
Nothing to see here, please.
Listening to our experts today, and I was quite pleased with them this time, because they tend to act like this when it comes to disaster news.
Nothing to see here, please.
But I don't have 10 o'clock, and it will take me maybe 3 hours to edit the video. And as usual, things might have changed in the meantime. And if so, I will make a note of it in the description box. And I was listening to our experts today, and I was quite pleased with them this time, because they tend to act like this when it comes to disaster news.
Nothing to see here, please.
But I don't have to read between any lines today. One oldie in the profession said today that an eruption is inevitable. It might just as well occur tonight, but in a matter of few days or few weeks is more likely though. Another expert said yesterday that this will be by far larger event than last year, so I'm going to finish this video with a lava prediction map that was made before that eruption, and I'm including some sightseeing tours as well, since a map is just a map. And here are the key locations like Krysivik, the craters that the eruption last year left us with, and the dike that is giving us hard time now. But this map has 3 options when it comes to locations, but we start with this one where the dike is now, or on top of this 14,000-year-old sealed volcano, and it is not the worst place to get a new lava field, but definitely not the best one either. So I'm gonna take off with the drone, first here facing north, and then from the highway intersection around here. And this is the road to Keilir.
Okay, new phone.
Which is a popular hiking mountain, while it's not shaking too much, so it's not much damage that a new lava field can do around here. But as we get further north, we find the busiest highway in Iceland, the road to Keflavík International Airport. And first we look to the east and see how close we are to Reykjavík, and ask, how did our forefathers get the idea to settle here on not so old lava fields, where it's always windy and often rain, my choice would have been 100 kilometers further north in a fjord called Borgarfjörður. Way better weather there. So this location is a bad idea, even though I'm sure that many Icelanders don't agree. But that's just how it is. And then we turn toward the airport to west, and we can see the gentle slope from this half-formed shield volcano, or the hill that would lit up in case of an eruption there. But the biggest question is, of course, how much lava and for how long time? The best case scenario would be a tourist eruption, and the worst case scenario is the fact that those shield volcanoes can just go on pumping year after year, magma straight from the mantle, even leaving us with a new coastline, and we would never find the airport road again. That's how powerful they are, and there are over 20 such a year, magma straight from the mantle. Much lava, and for how long time? The best case scenario would be a tourist eruption, and the worst case scenario is the fact that those shield volcanoes can just go on pumping year after year, magma straight from the mantle, even leaving us with a new coastline, and we would never find the airport road again. That's how powerful they are, and we would never find the airport road again. That's how powerful they are, leaving us with a new coastline, and we would never find the airport road again. That's how powerful they are.
He's saying that if the worst case scenario would be that if the eruption just continues and never ends, he means by never find means there would be no way to the airport, because the roads that will be constantly refilled by lava. You would probably have to build a road that even if you build a bridge, the pylons will be destroyed, unless of course it's made from like heat resistant material.
There, and there are over 20 such formations on the peninsula alone. And in such extreme case, but unlikely though, we do always have the South Coast Road that actually almost closed due to lava last year. But one expert said today an eruption at the wrong place could close both roads. So they want our government to get ready to prepare a new airport. And that is quite a statement, I must say. Or to ask us to prepare for a scenario that involves both roads to close. And I would like to know what is behind that, what kind of scenario. But back to the map again. And as for the second model, when it comes to lava prediction, it might actually be spot on, even though this is over 1 year old map. But the locations where they expect an eruption in that prediction is actually where we are having many of the earthquakes these days. But scientists say that this location, the earthquakes there are triggered by changes in tension, like the 5.5 that hit Krysivik yesterday. So I would think it's an unlikely scenario to get an eruption there now, but there is, however, no lack of old vents around there. But I am driving through that spot now, and in case of an eruption there, the lava would accumulate in this valley where we are now. But if the eruption would occur a bit further north, at the other side of this ridge, it could flow all the way into the metropolitan area. So that is the reason why I have been filming around Reykjavik this summer, because there are so many volcanoes around. But more about that later. So what we know now is that an eruption, where it's most likely now to occur, is not good, but it could be worse. But then it is all up to the size. The Reykjanes Peninsula is the youngest part of Iceland, and Mother Nature has in fact just finished to make the foundation for what has still to come. So this land is in a way like a time machine, undeveloped peninsula. It's like a museum in a way, or unwritten disaster movie when we think about all the events that will, for the next thousands of years, shape it into something that looks more than the rest of Iceland. And that is how weird that part of my country is. And with that, I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island, Iceland.
Okay, so now let's look at Volcano YT. So this is looking at current earthquake information. still tremors going on, so you can see there's some harmonic tremors. See all this background activity here. This is a harmonic tremor. Okay, another quake rated, a little one. These quakes, these little quakes, pop, 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 pop. These little quakes are basically caused by magma moving and cracking rock underground. So these are what is known as volcanic tectonic earthquakes, or VT earthquakes. This here, all the way at the bottom, that's background noise from the ocean. This here, all this noise, that's basically harmonic tremor. You could actually see those little harmonic tremors here, just humming along. I mean, the quakes aren't that powerful, but they are still occurring. Yep. So when do I think the eruption will occur is sometime in the next couple days. Maybe at most a week. I think it's going to be a few more days before the eruption occurs. that was a good one. Wow, that's actually a pretty big one there. Let's see. It looks like a little. Yeah, it's that's a pretty good quake there. That was probably a magnitude 2, maybe? 1 or 2. Ooh, wow. Big one, yes! We finally have a big one. Ooh, yes! That is a big one. That has to be about a magnitude 2 or 3. Wow, this is exciting. That is probably a magnitude 3 or maybe 2. That was kind of a foreshock right there. So those were the two foreshocks. This is it's like the main shock. So this could be a mixture of volcanic and tectonic earthquake activity. So basically, that earthquake was probably a magnitude 2 or 3. It was basically this major earthquake that just occurred is one right there. Okay, another big one, but not as big as the one that just occurred here. Anyway, all right. Yeah, now it's becoming more constant. Now let's look at the monsoonal activity. Yeah, this one was definitely continuing. Yep. So this could be a brittle fracture quake. look at Las Vegas right now. Looks like no flooding. Anyway, I'm about to be heading off to bed. But before I do, let's look at spaghetti model, see if anything is brewing in the tropics. Nothing is brewing in the tropics. Let's look at the local weather. Looks like another big quake just occurred. Yep, looks like there was another major quake. Let's see what just happened. Wow! Ooh. Let's see where. That is a major quake. That was major. Wow, and it looked like there are multiple ruptures. Sit definitely a pretty big quake. Oh, that was a 4.4. Nice. Nice. We just had a 4.4. Not too bad. Okay. to what's the volcano? Oh yes, Iwo Jima eruption. No. Yes. It wasn't really an eruption. It was.
If you're a college student like me, especially, you need.
It was Friata.
Iwo Jima erupted. So let's get to it. So yeah. There's a sporadic eruption. And no news on it. No news on it at all. What? Okay, it's being weird. So I had to tap it that way. Okay, whatever. Link to this will be in the description box below, not that one because y'all don't need no middleman bullshit. So the activity at the volcano continues at elevated levels. The JMA reported that an eruption occurred at Iodake crater. The gas steam column rose about 1,300 meters, or 4,265 feet above the crater. A nighttime glow is visible at night, indicating an increase in thermal activity in the crater. The warning bulletin states that ballistic impacts of volcanic bombs and ashfall could affect an area of about half a kilometer distant from the crater. So, I'd say avoid being at least a kilometer away from the crater. So yeah, that will be thumbnail. But yeah, this thing erupted. This is interesting, and I like how it's still at green. When I'm not surprised, there's a little sporadic eruption. And yeah, so yeah, that does seem to be it for right now. So stay safe out there. See you in the next video. Bye.